Welcome back to Snetterton and action from the Radical SR3 Challenge. We're well into the second race of the weekend, and this, the battle for the lead between number 3, James Littlejohn, and behind him, number 6, the black and yellow car of Bradley Ellis. The pair of them have been nose to tail pretty much since the start of the race, but this, the most pressure we've seen in terms of a challenge for the lead, and Ellis is looking to go through. He's got the inside at Riches, and Bradley Ellis is going to just swoop to the inside line, taking James Littlejohn, and Littlejohn, he tries to fight back, but he's got the outside line for the hairpin at Montreal, so I suspect there's no way through there for Littlejohn, and Ellis snatching the lead away from the former Renault BARC racer, James Littlejohn. Now what can Bradley Ellis do in terms of beginning to build a margin here before he hands over to Andy Cummings at mid-race? It's Tony Wells will be taking over from James Littlejohn. The pair of them sprint out of Palmer as we look back to the fight for third position, with Matt Bell coming under increasing pressure from the white and red car, the race one winner Bradley Smith, who is all over his tail. Also we've got the British GT driver Phil Keane as well in very close attendance. They hit the brakes and head around the hairpin at Montreal, and Keane is the driver to watch here, the all-white car, number 4, who is beginning to ask all the right questions of Bradley Smith. Is going to give Smith then the hurry up to maybe try and overhaul Matt Bell. 3 of them cover about 5 car lengths as they head out of Palmer and on towards Agostini. A little bit further back down the field, we've got Neil Houston having a good scrap with Max Robinson. Robinson in the bright orange car on the tail then of Houston. As the pair of them head on towards Montreal. Accelerating through Williams and onto the Bentley straight comes the fight for third position, still very, very tight, and Bradley Smith looking to try and get that run on Matt Bell. He jinxed the inside line. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough here to challenge on the brakes in front of Nelson. Rather, he's just showing himself really into Bell's mirrors, just to remind him, if he had forgotten at all, that Bradley Smith is very much there and looking to squeeze through into the bomb hole. The pair of them still running very tight together, just running wide over the curve there on the exit is Matt Bell. That could be Bradley Smith's opportunity to potentially think about a challenge through Coram Curve. He can't do it, but this is lovely pressurised tactical driving from Bradley Smith. He doesn't put the wheel wrong. You can see that Matt Bell again just running over the lip of the curve at Murray's. He really is pushing very, very hard here, Bell, and that's going to give Smith the opportunity as they accelerate on towards Riches and around the outside. Bradley Smith trying to squeeze through. He can't quite do it. Matt Bell parks the car firmly to the side of the road. Instead, Smith looks to the switchback, sprinting on towards Montreal again. Bell able to cover the line just in time. All the while, this is bringing Phil Keane into the mix. Again, they come out to the hairpin, and it's Bell and Smith side by side as they head towards Palmer. Bradley Smith will do very well to try and challenge around the outside line, which he does. Oh, that's a brilliant move from Bradley Smith. Very, very rare to see that done here at Snetterton. And I suspect that he thoroughly enjoyed that. Further back down the field, we have got Michael Broadhurst on the tail of Marcello Maratteotto. It's one of the beauties of the Radical SR3 Challenge. Scraps throughout the pack, and now that Bell has been demoted by Bradley Smith, he has got Phil Keane looming large all over his tail. Smith trying to pull clear of Bell. He's doing a reasonably good job at that moment. He's 4 or 5 car lengths clear, having only been in that third position for a couple of corners. His task now is to chase down the race leader, Bradley Ellis, and second place man James Littlejohn as the pit window opens and the first car in is James Abbott, also in Autosport journalist Ben Anderson as well. The pair of them both going full race duration single-handedly. Switch there for Paddy McLuhan and Max Robinson. Andy Wallace so heads into the pit lane to hand over to Owen Mildenhall. Right, the race leader Bradley Ellis comes to a halt. It's Andy Cummings who is about to take over. You can see just how well drilled these teams are for the pit stops. They do have a mandatory minimum pit stop time, but they want to get the driver change complete as quickly as possible, so that as soon as that time has elapsed, they're ready to get on their way out of the pits. Comes Marcello Maratteotto, who's actually been fed out into some reasonably clear air here, so he should have a good run as he gets himself back up to speed after his pit stop. Andy Cummings then finds forward propulsion, finds the gear, and joins the fray, rumbling down the pits and out onto the track. So Cummings rejoins. We'll find out in a few moments where he is in the race as we hand down to Gemma Scott in the pits, who's been joined by a couple of the drivers.
Bradley, good stint for you and leading the race.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I managed to sort of get the lead quite early on, but then I was overtaken again by James Littlejohn, all within the first couple of corners. But then I just had to chase James down. He made a couple of mistakes which actually allowed me to close up on him and actually get past.
Brad was reeling me in, he got tucked up behind me and I just thought I'd let him go, tried to follow him, which didn't work either. He just pulled a bit of a gaff in front of me, so I did enjoy myself, it was good fun.
Well, this then the fight for lead the race. So Andy Cummings did emerge in the lead, but Bradley Smith, after his pit stop, closing up on the tail of Cummings. The big question is, will Andy Cummings be able to hold on through to the checkered flag? Well, he's got quite a while to go here. Bradley Smith has got the pace. He's got the run into Riches, trying around the outside line. Andy Cummings, though, holds the inside track, therefore no way through on that occasion for Bradley Smith, who'll instead look to challenge into the hairpin in Montreal, maybe try and pressurise the mistake from Andy Cummings, who breaks a little bit too deep, slithers wide, and that's going to be the opening for Bradley Smith, surely, as they sprint out to Montreal en route towards Palmer. But Cummings has recovered remarkably well there, and he's got the inside line for the left-hander. Again, doesn't really make friends with the apex, but he's doing what he needs to do to maintain the lead of the race. Accelerating on towards Agostini as we pick up James Abbott, running in 4th position on the road at the moment. Abbott, who stands a good chance of claiming a podium position for this race, as through into the lead of the race has gone Bradley Smith. So Smith did take the lead away from Andy Cummings, and now that Smith is through, the big question is whether or not he'll be able to pull clear and claim a double victory to start his 2013 campaign. But at the moment, it's looking very nice for him. He's the quickest car on the circuit. He's not being caught by any of his rivals, and he's pulling clear the car in 2nd position as Ben Anderson, the Autosport journalist, sets off in pursuit of Tom Jordan. He's got Marcello Maritiotto running in reasonably close company on his tail as well. A pair of them heading out of Riches as we go back to the fight for 2nd. It's a 3-way scrap because we've got Andy Cummings in 2nd, Tony Wells in 3rd. Make that Tony Wells in 4th. Through goes James Abbott on the inside line into Brundler Nelson. And Abbott, well, we thought that he might well be able to climb up onto the podium. That's exactly what he's done. He's in 3rd now, 2nd position. Seems very realistic. And then we could be in for a nice scrap as well between Andy Cummings and Tony Wells in the latter stage of the race. Abbott works his way through Coram Curve, accelerates out of Murray, looks to get a nice smooth run onto the centre straight. And on that occasion, you just have to say that Tony Wells was a little bit smoother. Further back in the field, Owen Mildenhall and Andrew Ferguson having a nice scrap. This then for 11th position. At the moment, it's Mildenhall who's just got the advantage over the blue car of Ferguson. But Andrew Ferguson gets a good run out the bomb hole and jinks the inside line at Coram Curve. Mildenhall, though, able to sweep across just in time. Instead, though, Ferguson takes advantage at Murray's. That's a lovely move there from Andrew Ferguson. He gains the place and sold the dummy absolutely perfectly to Mildenhall. In the meantime, though, in the fight for 2nd position, James Abbott has latched himself immediately up onto the tail of Andy Cummings, and Cummings just heads out over the rumble strip as they come onto the Bentley straight. They hit the brakes into Brundler Nelson. Again, Cummings to the inside line, but James Abbott swoops through around the outside. So Abbott into 2nd. I suspect that Bradley Smith, the race leader, may be a little bit too far into the distance for James Abbott to close down, but all the same, it's a good drive from Abbott. He's having a very busy season. He's also racing in the Formula Ford Championship, supporting the British Touring Car Championship rounds, as now it's the turn of Tony Wells to challenge Andy Cummings, and through he goes. Brilliant move there from Tony Wells. Nice and opportunistic, and Cummings maybe caught napping just a little bit. Let's have another look then. Through Coram Curve, Andy Cummings gets on the brakes nice and early for Murray's. Tony Wells fills the gap that Andy Cummings tried to turn into and snatches the last place on the rostrum. That's good news for Tony Wells and James Littlejohn. It's even better news, though, at the moment for the race leader, Bradley Smith. He's just a couple of corners from home, and this has been an utterly dominant performance this weekend from Bradley Smith. Pole position and victory, fastest lap as well in Bradley Smith's honour. It's going to give him a nice and comfortable championship lead as they head on towards Brands Hatch, which is the next round for the Radical SR3 Challenge. But for now, accelerating out of Murray's along the centre straight. The checker flag is ready and waiting, and it's a double win to start the 2013 season for Bradley Smith, and very emphatically so. He's some 17.5 seconds clear of James Abbott, who is the next man through in 2nd position. So let's take a look then at the final results after what was a very lively, entertaining race. It was the win for Bradley Smith and James Abbott in 2nd, with Tony Wells and James Littlejohn completing the rostrum just from Andy Cummings and Bradley Ellis, with Van Anderson finishing in 5th position. For Bradley Smith, the perfect start to the year. The team all poised and ready in part ferme to congratulate their man, who's made a fantastic graduation from the Radical Clubman's Cup.
an incredible drive, and that was a good race, tough race. I mean, how was it for you guys? It was watching, we were on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the quicker guys started that race, and for me it was just a case of trying to stay with them as best as I can, and then hopefully try and get past the slower guys on the way back.
It's been a bit of a learning weekend, hasn't it, coming back into SR3s, but it was good fun, and we got a trophy, so I'm happy.
Expect more of the same from you guys, can we, James?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we had a good start to the race. I was leading, and then obviously gave that away. And then Tony did all the hard work again to get back up onto the podium. So.
Fair play to you, Tony. Well done. James, you were in the car too. You were important.
You were leading, actually, for about half the race.
Laptop doesn't lie, it wasn't important at all.
I asked you after the first race, do you think you can make it a double win? You weren't sure, but you've absolutely flown. You've made it look almost easy this weekend.
That race was a bit harder. To be fair, I just messed the start up, got the timing wrong, and Bradley has got down the inside, and that just pushed me back. But no, really good weekend. We're pleased.
I know Bradley said that the pressure from you was quite tense.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, we're here to go racing and enjoy it, so hopefully it'll sort of push all the pro guys along a bit.
Well, let's take a look at the championship standings after the first 2 races of the season, with Bradley Smith fairly emphatically in command from James Abbott, with Tony Wells and James Littlejohn in 3rd position, just 2 points clear of Alex Capadia and Tom Jordan.
Well, it's fair to say that the opening round of the SR3 Challenge has been absolutely fantastic. Close racing, wheel-to-wheel action, and what a weekend for newcomer Bradley Smith, who has dominated throughout both race 1 and race 2 with an incredible race pace. If you enjoyed that, there'll be more of the same here on Motors TV. The next round will be from Brands Hatch. We'll see you then.